Hey, Victor.
Hello, folks. How we doing?
You're my friend.
Hello there. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Not only can we hear you, my friend, we can see you.
Oh my God, isn't that something? How is everyone this morning?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Yano?
Doing fine for an old guy.
Yeah.
Let's see, get that up a little higher. That's good. Okay, there's David. There he is. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Adam. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Vic.
Good morning.
Uh,
Let's see.
Okay, I'm looking at these abatement applications. You've been busy.
Not too bad.
Yeah,
Not out of the realm for what we usually receive here.
that's true. I can remember when we had 1,000.
I can too.
Yeah.
I never want to go back to those.
No.
I think when I first started here, close to 500 waiting for me in the month of April.
Yeah,
Goodness.
Well, it's a sign that you're doing a good job.
Well,
Yeah.
either that or we're too low, right? I mean,
Maybe. No.
That's
I
never the
kind of
case.
doubt that. These numbers look crazy.
Yeah, I know. They are.
every year I sit down to do values, I get a tummy ache. It's just, oh my goodness, what the market is doing and how much values go up. It's,
Yeah.
I don't know.
My only complaint is that there's no space between one abatement and the other on the cover sheets.
Oh, well, hey, that was just a hack job. They look better affixed to the actual applications.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
Call the meeting to order.
I will call the meeting to order at 9:59.
Wow.
Yes. A minute early. I know. Has everyone received the agenda?
Yes.
Has
Yeah.
everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes of our last meeting?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
I was going to entertain a motion to accept the minutes as so written by Victor.
so Yano, take a quick glance and you can make that motion if you want.
That's fine. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll make that
Um,
motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye. 3 ayes on that, Vic.
Aye.
Okay. And we're coming up on our FY 2023 fiscal year abatement applications. And I know Victor's been very busy and he has sent out that information to us. Has everyone had a chance to review it?
Yes.
Good. Victor, do you want to begin?
I will begin. I'll be reading off my applications that should be closely aligned to the log.
Yep.
And during next week, I'll have these all marked up, so feel free to stop by to make them all officially.
Great.
Official looking.
Mhm.
All right, application number 1. Recommending denial. They're claiming overvaluation, but there was a sale in the building. And the sales over the past couple of years in that building kind of set where we're at with assessments. And we're at about a 95% level of assessment. And there was nothing in the unit to make me change anything. So recommending denial on that one.
So moved.
Victor, do you need us to vote on every abatement application, or do you want us to wait until the end to?
We can
Yes.
wait until the end, and as we're going, if anything comes up with anybody, we can pull it to the side and vote on it separately after. Obviously, if
fine.
anyone has any conflicts or anything like that.
Certainly.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. R2, Let's see here. Recommending denial. We granted an abatement in 2022 for everything that they claimed in the application. So I went out last year and recognized the lot issue that they claimed in there, and you know, you really can't come to us the following year with the same issue.
Mhm.
Okay,
Application number 3. This one here, we had to correct the rear acreage. We were, when I went out to this house, I was surprised at the valuation that we had it at. It was kind of, wow, okay, how do we end up with this? And I noticed an issue with the way the land area was calculating. So what I did was delete the landline, rebuild the landline, it calculated properly. And also, putting in a 10% adjustment for layout. What you have is a newer portion of a home stuck onto an old home. And normally you expect additions like that to be kind of blended. Oh, no, you could have 1 foot in the 1880s and the other foot in the 1980s.
Yes.
So recommending an abated value, and this is mostly the land value, 263,100, and an abated tax 3086 and 16 cents.
Okay.
Number 4. Let's see. The only thing that I did with this one, and it really could have gone either way, we changed the condition from average good to average. And I had seen this house, goodness, a year or 2 ago, and I can agree that that the house is, you know, an average condition. And it results in an abated value of 25,000 and an abated tax of 293.25.
Okay.
Application number 5. Let's see. Number 5. Well, on this one, it was taking a look at the lot. The house is on a steep angle. It's in that neighborhood. It's a little bit of a strange lot, and it borders other houses that have, you know, nicer lots, nicer homes. Brian, you're more than familiar with the area up there.
Yes.
And this one was just an adjustment because, you know, the shape of the lot, the situation of the house on the lot. It seemed like a reasonable adjustment to put in place for this one house. If you go up by it, it takes up most of the side street there with not too much offering in the rear. So that would reduce the land value by 38.9 and abate 456.30 off the taxes. Number 6, kitchen and bath, good to average. Other than that, the comps that they supplied were like, you know, either smaller homes or not relevant to, you know, what we're trying to determine. But both Scott and I inspected this house at separate times, so good to average, results in an abatement of 25.7 and an abated tax of just over 301. Number 8, we inspected, corrected the sketch. What exactly was wrong with that sketch? Let me see.
about 7.
Yeah, number 7.
Oh, okay, you said 8.
Let's see. Well, yeah, we had the house measured a little bit too big. So we remeasured it and redid some of the interior spaces to reflect accurately what's there. And we also changed the kitchen and bath from good to average and the overall condition from good to average, and we added a shed. Abated value is 64.1. Abated tax 651.89, 751.89. Number 8. This is that apartment building on Crescent. But for ever and a day, we had it as mixed use. At one time, there was office space there, but over the years, it's since been converted to residential apartment space. So this is an adjustment of the tax component, not the value. So when we take that building valued at just under 4.5 million and make it 100% residential, it reduces the tax by 11,956.71.
So that's, that's been residential for how long?
Quite a while,
I thought.
quite a while. And honestly, I never thought to look that we were taxing any of this as commercial. You know, I
Yes.
think one time they might have had a portion that was a sales office in there or what have you, but it's long since removed.
Victor, that shows the assessed value and the revised value is the same amount,
That means we abated nothing.
but you have abated tax of $11,000.
Right.
That's because it wasn't a valuation adjustment, it's a tax
Ah.
adjustment.
Yep.
Due to, removing the commercial component and taxing it straight as residential.
Huh. Okay.
Number 9. We had to change the land area on this one. We may have missed a plot plan a bunch of years ago, what have you. The owner brought it to our attention. It reduces the value by 10,800 and an abated tax of 126.68.
Okay.
Number 10. Yeah, there's 2 at this location, and they both sold around the same time and kind of hit them on the high side, because it's actually like an attached townhouse, an older conversion type. And
Mhm.
you have those in one model. And generally, when you look at all the stats come out okay, but occasionally there's a couple of, shall we say, victims who get stuck at the high end.
Yeah.
So going out to this one, I ended up lowering the complex due to the sales. And that results in an abated value of 61.3 and an abated tax of 719.05.
Nothing that would create like an improvement or anything like that. It's just based upon the values. The comps.
Exactly. Their sale price, I think, was where we at. In 2022, they paid $630 for it. And we were at $599, which is around, 2022 wasn't the year I looked at. I looked at 2021.
Yeah.
And it just seemed to be at the high end, close to 100% of what it would have been down there. So backing it up a couple of percent to give them the benefit. That means next year when I go through, I'll look at the 22 sale and make a modest adjustment there, reflecting the newer year. Number 11. Boy, oh boy. Went in the condition. I changed from average to fair. The bathrooms average to fair. And I increased the excess depreciation from -5 to -10. Yeah, it's an old fella in an old house, and it's very, very old in there.
Yeah.
It reduces the value by 90,100, and it's a tax abatement of 1,056.87.
No problem there.
Number 12, let's see. I think this, she paid less than what we had it assessed for, I think. No, next door, same structure. When you're on the street, all the buildings are cookie cutter, like on the presidential streets.
Yeah,
Um,
they're duplexes.
They
Yeah.
are.
They're all duplexes.
So what I did was I really didn't change the value in the database, but I took 6% off so that if this property sold, it would come in about 95%. The value in the database is still 633.3, but it'll be revised as I do a reval, this year based on 2022 sales. But for this 1 year only, the value comes down 38,000 and the abated tax is 445.74.
Mhm.
Let's see here. Number 13, straight change of condition from good to average, reduces the value 22.1 and tax goes down 259.23.
Mhm.
Oh, number 14, house renovation was going. We hit it with 2 less of an adjustment for what was going on as of June 30th. The construction actually slowed more than what we thought. So we're just changing the 35% off, 30% off to 45% off. That's how we recognize new construction. We sketch a house. And as they're working on it, we'll start with, if there's no house there, 100% off. And then by June 30th, you try to pick up what's there, and we overestimated. So we're increasing that to make up for the difference.
How long has that construction been going on for?
Well, let's see here. We pulled the permits in January of 2022. And honestly, on bigger stuff, contractors have been moving pretty quickly. It's not like in the old days where things would take 2 years, where things are taking only a few months. And this one, it looked more complete than it actually was. So that's why we're making the adjustment.
Okay.
And then when he completes it later on this year, we'll hit him next year.
Mhm.
That results in an abated value of 93.2 and 1,093.24 off the taxes. R15, this site has approval for 23 units. If these folks can't get it off the ground, the site plus with that approval is definitely worth the assessed value. So I'm recommending denial.
Hmm.
You know what this site was on Salem Street? The tool place there.
Where, yeah,
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So I mean, we worked with them when they first acquired the site. They were, slow in getting things done and everything, but now I'm sorry. You got, the approval there. See ya. Do something with it.
what did they pay for it? Do you recall?
Good. Back then, they paid. Boom, boom, boom. 1.4 million.
Okay.
Back then,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it incurred some costs and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
do something with it or bring in a qualified developer to help you out.
Yes.
Number 16. Let me scroll down the spreadsheet. 16. Oh, same as the other one. It's the same location. I revalued the complex to come in at, about 95%. And this one, the other one we did was about 61.3. This abated value is 62.7 and an abated tax of 735.47.
Okay.
R17, I visited this house last year and recognized all the conditions they cited in the application. So denial for fiscal 22,
Okay,
fiscal 20,
23.
23.
I should say deny fiscal 23 abatement. I have sausage fingers, forgive me. Number 18. The second floor of the house wasn't sketched properly. We were picking up too much square footage on the second floor because when you go in the house, actually only the first half of the house had second floor. The rest was like open loft that comes over to the first floor. So I had to correct the sketch to remove that, goodness, couple 100 feet of finished living space that we were taxing that wasn't there. So we corrected the sketch and the overall condition, good to average. Results in an abated value of 98.5 and an abated tax of 11.55. Number 19. Kitchen and bath, average to fair, condition, average to fair. Yeah, this is right across the street from Town Hall. It's an old converted 2-family, and it's just recognizing what's there. The abated value is 47.2 and the abated tax is 553.66. Number 20. Let's see. I have deny. What further would lead me to a denial? Let's look at number 20 on our spreadsheet, shall we? Yeah, the comps that were supplied were inferior, and the comps we looked up were more than adequate. And was there, and they had previously filed in 2021 where we recognized whatever conditions were there. But yeah, this is funny one. All the comparables, they're either small, smaller, you know, don't play that game. Give me a comparable that's somewhat close in size to your home. Number 21. The kitchens and baths changing from very good to average. And we're adding 5% topo for slope on the side and rear of the house. So that results in an abated value of 52.8 and abated tax of 619.34. And let's see here. Number 22. Number 22. This one where after reviewing the home and looking at the general area and style of home, we're changing the grade from a C+ to a C. And we had a finished basement listed. The basement was not finished. The results in an abated value of 85.9 and an abated tax of 1,007.61. Can't live without my iced coffee. Forgive me. Number 23. Let's see, where are we? Oh yeah, I inspected this unit. No obvious changes to the unit, and the sales over the past couple of years more than support the value of the unit. We have everything nice and tight there, coming in right where everything should, and that was explained to the owner. Number 24. Oh man. If you know the location, you know this house on the street it is, right? I'd actually met these people shortly after they bought the home at a Wakefield 101 thing that we do for new homeowners. And I try to go prepared with, if I know who's going, I'll print off the property record cards. So they show up, we start talking, and oh, welcome to Wakefield. And I pull up the property record, kind of like, yikes. We were at 766.7. And they paid $575 for it. I said, all right, here's what to do. I can't help you now. I told them what to do, and they filed the abatement application. I went into the house. It's a gut and rehab situation. The house is just, gone inside for the most part. The holes in walls and floors and doing, great couple. They're doing everything it takes to get it done. So recommending, move everything down the fair. An extra 20% excess depreciation for the layout and everything going on there. And as they pull permits, we'll remove the excess depreciation and increase the condition.
Sounds
That's how
good.
it works. But yeah, just given that sale price, we're, as we say in Boston, wicked high. And the abated value is 174.9, and the abated tax is 2051.58. I always liked that house too, with the big chunk of land there and the stuff outside.
Yeah.
Could almost picture like Don Vito Corleone with the grapes. Number 25. Yeah, this house, I had inspected previously and found some small stuff. Then the owner comes back, we look at it. And I did a certification detail report of the area to get, to kind of take the pulse of how homes are graded there and everything. And yeah, this home, to me, and looking at them, it should be a B- as opposed to a B+. Definitely not a B+ home, which was driving the value. B-, put it more right in the range with comparable sales over the period. In that case, we're abating 86.1 in value and 1,009.95 in taxes.
Mhm.
This property, for number 26, we made a couple of attempts to call to get in and what have you. And, I wish they would respond. If I make 2 or 3 attempts to call and I don't get a call back, I'm just going to assume that, you're no longer interested. I didn't see anything in sales to say that we're too high with this, and I'm recommending denial. If he gets a denial notice and then calls, I'll reserve the right to go out and check out the unit and maybe revise that decision. That's what I try to do with people who don't call. I don't want to get hung up in having to remember to send a deemed denial, or not send one and give them time to appellate tax board. So maybe this gives attention to say that, gee, that guy Victor that called 3 times and left messages, maybe I should give him a call. So recommending denial on this. Number 27. Okay. This house is 900 square feet. What I found in doing this for many, many years, and in particularly in Wakefield and now my other communities, yeah, X home sells at Y amount and what have you. But the kind of stepchildren to that are your smaller homes under 1,000 square feet. They tend to skew higher in the sales analysis, which means we're kind of super regressive in them. They're always, habitually almost overvalued, if not overvalued.
Mhm.
And what I've done as they come up on case by case, as I notice them, for the really small ones, I put in about a 10% sales adjustment that in subsequent years has kind of fared well with our assessment to sales ratio. It's recognizing its condition. Nobody's banging on the door to try to buy a house, it's 800 square feet. People will buy it, but it's not as desirable as other ones. So I compensate for that with a 10% functional adjustment for size. It reduces the value by 19,000 and abates the tax 222.87. Let's see, number 28. Yeah, we were kind of high on everything here. We had the house listed as good, it's average. We had to change the bath count and change the baths from very good to average, and the kitchen from very good to average. You know, for the years I've been here, we try to clean this stuff up and try to get in, and even so you do your cyclicals, you don't get in. Sometimes it takes an abatement application to get the data right. In this case, it results in an abatement of 94.8, an abated tax of, oh my God, $1,112 even. Sip of iced coffee, please. Number 29. This one was. Bum, 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 bum. Well, this one here was changing the baths from good to average. What else did I do here? Change the style. Oh. No, just changing those condition adjustments. And that results in an abated value of 33.5 and an abated tax of 392.96. Let's see. Yeah, number 30. We've been out to the property before, years ago, recognizing all the conditions. The house is in fair condition, fair this, fair that. And, you know, I'm already recognizing everything that they said in the application. You look at the sales, there's nothing standing out that we're over assessing this one. So recommending denial. Okay. Number 31. I know what happened. Recommending denial because they applied in fiscal 22. And again, we, handled everything, that was cited then. So. Number 32, hold on a second here. Number 32. All right. I did a lot to this one. Oh, wait a second. I got the wrong one here. Sorry. I got the wrong.
That's okay, Vic.
Okay.
There are very few of us who are perfect.
Number 32. Okay, number 32, I had to change the style of the home, remove the finished basement, and reduce everything in the house to fair. It's a very, very small house on the right as you're heading to Wakefield. It represents an adjustment of 46.5 and an abatement amount of 545.45.
And this is 95 Montrose, correct?
95 Montrose, yes.
Okay. All right.
Number 33. We had to correct the sketch. Everything in the house was fair and remove finished basement. Results in an adjustment of 63.4 and an abated value of 743.68. And number 34. Okay, this one we have listed as number 24. Why don't we talk about this one separately in a bit? This is actually a deployed National Guardsman, and we'll have a little bit of an explanation and decision to make on this one in a bit, okay?
Okay.
So, in light of applications 1 to 34,
33.
okay.
Well, 33 total, one taken out.
Hold on, okay.
I make a
Let me just
motion
make,
that we
let me just make
accept-
this right. Forget the application of a 12 Otis, which is a 2-family. They applied for fiscal 22. I granted an abatement then. They're back for fiscal 23, and I'm recommending denial.
Okay, wait a minute.
It's
Which
number
one was that?
32 on the spreadsheet.
Okay, so
Number
I see 12
31.
Otis is 31.
31, yes.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay, so we get that in, so, all right.
okay. Why don't we just continue and still make a motion at the end? I mean, are we through with them now? Or
We're
no?
through with residential.
Okay,
I don't know if commercial, you want more details or anything like that.
well, for residential, if we're through, I make a motion that we accept all the decisions made by staff, by Victor.
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
okay, so that's
Thank you,
There,
gentlemen.
everything,
Vic.
everything but 34?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay,
Now let's get into some commercial business. Let's see here. Commercial number 1, recommending denial.
okay, they paid 2,850 and it's at 2.5.
Yeah.
That's good, deny.
C number 2, recommending denial.
That sounds good.
C number 3, denial. C number 4, what's that river in Egypt?
Denial.
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 The other one that goes along with it, the parking lot to that, again.
Denial.
The next one, number 6, denial.
Okay,
Number 7. Any Karnaks out there? Denial.
yeah, why have you got those percentages in there under LUC?
Because it's
Mixed use?
apartment and mixed and commercial.
Okay.
Mhm.
Just wondering.
Number 8, anyone want to say it out loud? Denial.
Denial.
Number 9, denial. That number 10, I don't know why this does not work for me in our software. This should be a mixed use parcel because 50% of it is daycare. So every year the attorney has to file because I cannot seem to get the system to recognize when I put in the adjustment and call it, part commercial, part residential. So we end up abating the difference by removing the tax for commercial and taxing it residential. So there's no valuation change, but there's a tax adjustment of 8603.58.
Huh.
Plus, I must be one of this attorney's only clients by now. I feel old. This fellow must be real ancient. I've known him since I was a kid in the profession, and he was old then.
Vic, could you further elaborate on the reason why we would say daycare is residential?
Oh, it's an allowed use.
Okay.
Under the, land use codes that we utilize from the Department of Revenue.
Okay.
So daycare, even though it's a business, basically is
Mhm.
considered residential.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it,
Vic,
so it qualifies then? There's nothing you can do about it, Victor. It is what it is, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
all right.
If I could recognize it the way I'm supposed to, we wouldn't have the abatement application. So. Do you gentlemen want to vote on the recommendations for commercial applications?
I
Do I
make,
hear a motion?
I make a motion to accept Victor's
I second that.
opinions.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Oh, Vic,
Oh,
there
ooh,
might be another one.
yep, there we go.
Yep.
And up to the side because I just did this yesterday.
Okay.
Sorry, another commercial one. We can vote on it separately. C11. Oh my goodness, I went to this property and
Uh-huh.
the amenities we had listed as good, they're clearly average.
Yeah.
In the overall physical condition, we had average to good, it's average. I mean, their issue was paying too much in commercial tax versus residential tax. But after making those changes, it lowers the value by 58.8. And based on the residential commercial split, the abated tax is 1162.92.
Do I hear a recommendation or a
I make
motion?
a motion to accept number C11 as well.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All
Second.
those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now, this is where it gets personal.
Personal
Like that
property.
personal property, but it's 2 drink minimum here at Vic's House of Abatements. Number 1, out of business in November of 2021, so they shouldn't have been assessed. And there's the abatement value and abatement amount there.
Okay.
Number 2, while they changed their LUC from a 51502, in doing so, some of the machinery comes off the rolls. So
Mhm.
we're reducing the value by 3720 and abating 8355 off the taxes.
Okay.
Number 3. We were sending them a separate bill, but it should have gone to their parent company. And this type of arrangement with the insurance company, not subject to local taxes. So we're abating this one in full.
Mhm.
Number 4. We have evidence that they were open on January 1st, 2022. They went out of business in August, but because they were open on January 1st, 2022, we're obligated to tax them for the remainder of fiscal 23. We will remove them for fiscal 24.
Okay.
So
Denial.
denial on that one. Number 5, they were out of business this time on January 1st, 2022. So full abatement. Number 6, bill issued in error. The in full disclosure, I know these people. Their parents' house is down the street. Occasionally mail gets delivered there. There is no equipment in here. The business is squarely, I've been to the business, is in Melrose. So
All right.
recommending a full abatement, was issued in error and they'll be removed from the database.
Sure.
Number 7. They sold their assets. Really not much we could do, so we're recommending, abating it in full. Another one where the account was created in error, recommending abatement. Number 9, assets were overvalued by $3,000, so we're abating $3,000, and the abated tax is $67.38. When we received their formal list, they inadvertently included assets that belong to another business or a subsidiary of this. So we actually, it looks like we might have hit them twice.
Yeah.
So we removed 72,000 worth of assets from this account and ensured it's covered under the proper account. So we're abating 16, 17, 12. Number 11. We're just updating the asset listing. We're abating $41.50 in value and abating $93.21 in tax. And another one where they were picked up by a life insurance company that because of their taxation status, they're exempt from personal property tax, and we're abating it in full.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to accept Victor's recommendations on the personal property?
I so move.
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, item 4 on our agenda, appellate tax board updates. Really have nothing. Couple of cases out there. Some of the denials that we sent may inspire tax attorneys to call me in the coming months and with some realistic numbers where we can come back and maybe settle and save some interest. So
Good.
Very
now,
good.
under any other business,
Yes.
anyone have anything they'd like to bring up?
Yes, I do.
Uh-oh.
Senior circuit breaker information.
Yes.
The governor has proposed doubling the senior circuit breaker amount from currently $1,200 to $2,400 in the fiscal 24 budget. My read on it, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but it looks very good in terms of passing. This was an identical proposal last year that was proffered by Governor Baker at the time, but died because of the situation regarding 64F. Obviously, it's been filed again with the budget. Stands very good chance of being approved. Going forward, I'd like the board to begin to, ferment and think about what this is all going to mean for our senior discount program, because obviously, if that goes up from $1,200 to $2,400, if we're matching, that would be 100%. We would be matching $2,400, but we also have the ability to go up 150% to $3,600. And, I want a good discussion regarding it, your thoughts, what you might want to see going forward. I know we don't have to vote on this right now, but I'd like the board to start thinking about it. What's it going to mean for us and the senior citizens in Wakefield? Any discussion?
I think it's a great idea,
Okay.
period. I don't think there really should be any discussion
Okay.
because the seniors here, I think, deserve as much a break as they can at this
Okay.
point. So I'm 100% behind you, your
Okay.
feelings. So
No, I
Yeah,
know.
I agree.
I know that we're currently at 100%. Okay. Is there any desire to go higher than 100%? 150? And I know that in some of my discussions with Victor, there is concern that it could actually be detrimental if there's too much tax breaks given to senior citizens, because it actually could prevent them from qualifying for the senior discount the next year. And I know that Vic might have some information on this that he might want to share with us.
Well, first thing we have to do is make sure that our state delegation gets our new home rule petition passed.
Mhm.
It's pending. And
Mhm.
with the pending at the legislature, I get a little squirrely because I don't have document in hand. We renewed ours in Reading. Baker signed it. Governor Baker signed it his last day going out the door.
Mhm.
Why can't we get service like this here? So as we await approval of our home rule petition, we have the ability to go to 150%, which was built in. Because, the adjustment was, around $1,200, maybe, with things coming down the pike, we might want to increase that to offset, costs that may be coming down the road. But always with the idea that there's a push for the past couple of years to double the circuit breaker. Now, what does that do? We go from giving $1,200 to $2,400.
Mhm.
On average, over the past 3 years, seniors have saved about 15% off of the average single-family tax bill. Some a lot more because their incomes are so low, but the average 15%. And it's cost the Wakefield taxpayer on average about $25 over the 3 years.
Mhm.
If they double it, a couple things are going to happen. Seniors will save approximately 30%. The taxpayers, the residential taxpayers who fund it, will see the cost as you spread it out over the commercial industrial, stuff like that, rise to probably around $40. But the one thing everybody forgets, in order to qualify for the state circuit breaker income tax credit, it's based on the percentage of income that seniors pay for local property taxes. So if we grant a bigger abatement, they're paying less of their income
Yeah.
to those local property taxes. And next year, when they go sit down with their tax guy, they'll have no understanding as to why they can't qualify for the exemption again. Right now, we have, in 2023, we had 215 approved applications. Over the past few years here and in Reading, I can reasonably determine about 1/3 of the people, about 1/3 of the folks are removed either through attrition or unable to qualify. Because they got the tax relief, it lowers that threshold and they're unable to apply either the next year or the year after the 2 years of lower tax relief. But over the 3-year period, they're still net positive. They still make out on it. That 1/3 is kind of like rolls over because it's supplanted by new people who's either been here for the 10 years. They just turned 65 and meet all the other requirements. The other 2/3 are really like about 60%. That's our target audience. The people who continuously pay significantly more than 10% of their income towards local property taxes. to the point some of them are exempt from filing income taxes. For those people, my staff make sure that they get a hold of me, and I'll sit at kitchen tables with COVID masks, going through stuff to make sure to check to see if they qualify.
Mhm.
So even so they didn't receive it, there's no reason we should bar them. You know, if they otherwise would have qualified, we qualify them. But if the amount doubles, I fear those numbers may flip to where we're reaching down to some of the people who might pay 20-25% of their income to local property taxes, not being able to depend on a steady form of tax relief. This is going to create a very mercurial tax timeline for a lot of seniors.
Mhm.
So that's my concern. And
Yeah.
people look at me funny when I say, well, too much tax relief is bad. I don't want to say that. I created this program to give tax relief, but I think it should be done in a sober and cogent manner.
Yes.
Anyone have any questions about the program, how we've been doing, or, you know, anything like that?
I think we've been doing very well. I would love to see more people qualify for the circuit breaker and apply for the senior discount.
See, my concern with the state doubling it, again, it's great to say, oh, we doubled this. The devil's in the details.
Mhm.
Did you change the 10% threshold? That would help people out. Did you, I don't know, maybe take the Wakefield Director of Assessments bill that's stuck in legislative hell and give it a look? That could help 90% of the communities in the Commonwealth by alleviating the burden of having to do, you know, every 3 years a home rule petition.
Mhm.
So once
understand
things
your
pass, you got to
frustrations.
take a look at the details, and that could drive any potential decision that we make.
Okay.
I think it's worth further review and discussion, obviously.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I think my feelings on it are quite clear. I think you know, with the way the values of properties in Wakefield are skyrocketing, and it's forcing older people that have been here for generations to make some really hard choices. And I know you're sensitive to that, Victor. I really know, and I think everybody is.
Yes.
But with everything going on in Wakefield and all the improvements we see coming down the pike, and the assessments that are going to affect their taxes, I think people are going to be looking for some type of relief. And I think we have an obligation to, you know, help them as much as we can. And I know we do, and I know you do. So
Yes.
yeah, I think it's definitely worth paying attention to and making sure, like you said, we don't hurt people in our efforts
Yes.
to help them, you know. And I think it's worth further discussion and investigation in terms of how we can best, you know, help the people in the community, because I think that's why we're all here. So
I agree.
but I appreciate you bringing it up, and Victor, I appreciate your, you know, your discussion on it, because I think it helps enlighten people in terms of, you know, good
Yeah.
intention, you know.
If if you could do some research, Victor, and or at least tell us what's happening in the other towns like Reading or Linfield. You know, just so that we have an idea, is it going to hurt people or is it going to help them? Or
I will tell you this, in Reading, we've been doing this since 2018. You know, I created this with help
the home rule.
for both towns, but since I love and live in Wakefield, if it was a spectacular fail, I'd rather it fail in Reading. So people don't, you know, throw tomatoes at me in the produce aisle at Shaw's, or beat me with Spuckies in the bread aisle. But in Reading, the average savings, we grant 150% over there.
Mhm.
And that was more by their select board, but now the fine tuning is everything rests with the Board of Assessors, as it should. they're at 150%. And the discussions I'll have over there is, guess what? If they go to 2,400, it's still a bump from what we're given, but we're only going to grant 100% for the same reasons that I illustrated. Our
Yes.
position's a little bit unique because if this does not go with the legislature, we can comfortably go to 150% and at the 1,200
Mhm.
number. So we'll be giving 1,800 estimated. And still I'm seeing that 60%, 40% split that I am here over there, same kind of thing. Based on people who move out of it for a quick year, supplanted with newcomers. So,
Mhm.
and Linfield, they don't talk tax relief. Ahoy, polloi.
All righty.
So I would basically gauge it as this, it's the consensus of the board among the members to do as much as we can to help senior citizens and taxpayers as much as possible with the senior discount. But we're mindful and cognizant that the increases that are coming forward, with the circuit breaker could, put some people at jeopardy. And we're going to rely very clearly on, information that Victor's going to be supplying in the future for us.
I got the marching orders. Do the most
Sounds
we
good.
can with the least amount of damage.
Yes. Hey, Vic, another item that I wanted to bring to the board's attention, and I was reminded by this by looking at the last meeting we had back in August, and because we voted on those minutes today. I know it must have been about a year and a half ago that Janu had mentioned the need or the desire to get back to regular meetings. And I know that, the COVID crisis is sort of passed, vaxxed and boosted. I would not be adverse to going back to in-person meetings on a regular scheduled basis. Now, I don't think we, based on need, have to go to once a month, like the town council or some of the other boards, but I would be open to regular scheduled meetings so that we can, so that the board, we all can get together and talk about what's going on and get updates from you going forward. And
The only thing I'm trying to navigate is, now apparently there's a Zoom component to meetings. And if we meet in person, I don't know how to broadcast from like, okay, here's the four of us. And is my cell phone sitting over there, broadcast a Zoom type?
yeah,
My preference is to meet in person.
yes.
Because I really want you guys to have cramped hands signing all this stuff in my presence.
We will kill two birds with one stone.
But typically the flow with abatement applications and these denials, I could see us where we're at the beginning of March, end of April, beginning of May, having a meeting, acting on a couple of these after the attorneys get the, oh, hey, Vic's serious here. And also the need to meet this year is a little bit more critical because of developments with senior tax relief and
Yes.
things that we have to contemplate and have to respond to. So, yep.
Okay. Is there a desire among the members to go to regular scheduled meetings? For example, like third Thursday every other month? Any thoughts, any suggestions? I'm open to it.
Well, I think it would be a good idea, even if it is a Zoom meeting, for us to get together once a month. We can all say hello and goodbye, and just doesn't have to be anything higher than that. But I do think I would like to see regularly scheduled meetings.
Yes. Brian, your thoughts?
Again, I think that's a great idea. I just based upon, my affection for Zoom and not how I'm able to, and it's a public forum. I do
Mhm.
like Zoom.
Yes.
Because it gives everyone an opportunity to see us and hear how we feel and how we think. And it's and if it's easily logged into, people can log on and or review it or take a look at it. It's a recorded session.
Yes.
Not to say that couldn't happen in person, but I understand how the simplicity of it with Zoom. It just seems nice. So I'm open to anything, quite frankly. I'm not
Yeah.
opposed to anything, Dave.
Mhm.
Yana, do you prefer in person or does the Zoom concept, work?
I would prefer the Zoom meetings,
I understand. Yeah.
you
Okay.
know,
I'm open to both,
Yeah.
but if it's the consensus of the board that the preference is to do Zoom, I'm fine with that as well. As far as like a regularly scheduled meeting, once a month, twice a month,
uh,
2 months, once a quarter.
yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I'd say once, well, normally I would say once a month, but at least once every 2 months, for
Mhm.
example,
I think that's fair.
you
Okay.
know.
It's all
6 times a
dependent
week.
upon what we need to discuss and how often Victor thinks we need to meet in terms of
Mhm.
issues that come up. I mean, I'm open for once a month or once every 2 months, whatever.
Even if Victor just lets us know what's happened, what
Yes.
he's been up to, what other people in the office have been, problems that have cropped up and what have you, just so that we know what's going on. I mean, I get.
Yeah.
Sounds like
there's
Yana
a-
wants to keep you on a short leash, Victor. He wants to keep it.
One thing
That's
I
a-
will say, that I've been exceedingly selfish with meetings and meeting, only when we need to.
I understand that.
Yeah, it enables me to do what I have to for everything, but it is also short-sighted. And, we'll get better at it with this year, particularly with the sensitive issue of senior tax relief. We have to,
Sounds good.
I have to commit to that. So, I mean,
Victor,
if we don't set a meeting on a specific day every other month, I mean, myself and the chair can talk, send out an email like, okay, end of April, beginning of May, what's a good date for everybody? Agree on it and set it.
Mhm.
I think I found that in places where I've been, where they set the meeting, okay, every reason comes up in the world to break it and you're moving it anyways.
Mhm.
I don't think we.
The one thing I will say is if we are gonna set regular meetings, I know personally, mornings are gonna be difficult. Because of just my schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless we say it's gonna be, every third Thursday at 10 o'clock, and I can, go from there, but generally speaking, if we're gonna set meetings, it's gonna have to be at the same, as boilerplate as possible, so I can, make sure I don't have to be that guy saying, hey, we gotta move this for me. If
Mhm.
that's,
Vic, is there a day during the week which works best for you? I know that you spend time in Reading, Linfield. As far as the Wakefield component of your responsibilities are concerned, what day would work probably better if we were to adopt a regular scheduled time?
If you're talking during the day,
Mhm.
I could make Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday work.
Okay.
If you're
what's our
talking,
availability in the later afternoon? Because that's generally where I'm more available, quite frankly.
if you're talking late afternoon to early evening, I can work with, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Usually Monday's the day you get in and you try to set up your next week.
Certainly, yeah. But is anybody in favor of going to an early evening meeting? For example, 6:30, 6 o'clock.
That's fine with me.
It would
Except for,
very well for me because
Yeah, I mean, even 5, whatever works for Victor, whatever's more convenient for everybody. I think we could send around emails and just have a conversation and say, what we're looking at our schedules and understanding our obligations going
Mhm.
forward. What time slots work best for everybody and you know, what's everyone thinking? Victor said Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. And, you know, again, that's fine with me as well.
Okay.
But my schedule, I just so everyone understands, I book my schedule out 45 to 60 days in advance. So the things I have 60 days from now are locked in stone. So
Yes,
it's a little time, but
I
later in the
understand.
better. So,
Okay.
yeah.
My schedule is laid out every 60 minutes or so.
I'm somewhere in between you, Yano, and Brian.
I'm
So,
in favor of anything. I mean, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, morning, noon, and night is fine with me.
Okay.
All right.
From what I'm hearing, the consensus of the board is to probably ruminate, think on this,
Mhm.
get back with probably more specific timelines to meet on a regular basis. We can do so by email, obviously including the boss in that, and go from there.
Okay, sounds
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Well, gentlemen, Thursday, I am going on a much needed respite. I'm going to Florida with a retired assessor friend of mine who rents a house down there, fellow from Bill Ricca.
Mhm.
Also his replacement in Bill Ricca. And there will be assessors area adjacent to us. So what I'm saying is, ignore any news reports that you read coming out of the Tampa, Fort Myers area.
Will do, Vic.
Enjoy your time. You earned it.
I'll
Enjoy, Victor.
believe
So much
anything.
for helping out and getting this stuff done before I go. It'll be, you know, it's what I promised taxpayers. You're gonna notice by this time. Any questions, email us and, you know, or call us and we explain things to them. I like us taking the first crack at applications because generally things like this are easily solvable. Oh, we corrected the square footage. We did that. We did that. No need to. I've never been a proponent on taxpayers come in and kiss the ring. There's no upside to that. So, and I think we effectively help people doing it this way, make it easier on them too. So.
Victor, just to go back to the abatements, the one regarding the deployment, I don't think we
Hey, geez, thank you.
discussed that.
Right.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Number 34.
Mhm.
Sounds to me like more of a hardship.
It is. And
exemption.
gentleman supplied us with orders and has been duly deployed. And this is under 22 H, which we had it years ago. I failed to recognize that every 3 years you have to vote it in, so we had it done at town meeting. This enables us to grant any amount of tax relief to anyone, you know, in the National Guard that gets called up on active duty for a portion of fiscal year tax obligation. Previously, we had granted 2 of these, and we granted both of them at 50% tax relief. So the number I put there gives you an idea of what 50% tax relief looks like.
Yes.
But you're well within your right to, you know, give more or give less, but you know, we kind of have a pattern with this, so that's what I put in there.
I make a motion that we
problem.
grant 50% tax relief to the applicant. Number 14.
I'd second that. I mean, again, I know the situations of deployment, they're extremely difficult, and I think we're all extremely grateful for our military service, the people that serve for us. So I'll second the 50%, but I'd also increase it if people thought it was justified or I mean, 50% is fine, but
Before I call the votes, I would be willing to go higher if the Director of Assessments feels that it would be warranted.
This is clearly a call. I base this on, what we have done previously, but there's so few. And the two that we did were back around 2011, 12, or 13, or what have you. And taxes have increased since then.
Considerably.
And if the
that was
if the
my
board would like to look at what another number looks like, I can do that right now.
Yeah, I know, might you want to,
Yeah. Change that to, isn't there something that says we can't grant more than a 90% exemption or abatement?
Yes, yeah, well, you have to have it, you have to pay at least 10% of otherwise what your tax obligation would have been.
Okay.
Good memory, Yano.
Hey. I changed my motion to grant a 90% exemption.
do I hear a second?
second.
All those in favor?
Aye,
90% it is, Victor.
100%.
So the updated number on this. So we're all clear, 90%. And the tax amount adjusted, abated is 7966.31. Okay.
Ready?
And it'll be reflected in the subsequent minutes. Okay?
Mhm.
Good.
Good. We took care of that one.
Yes, yes.
Or else that then. I make a motion, we adjourn.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much, Victor.
Thank you,
Thank you,
gentlemen.
Vic. Enjoy your trip.
David.
Yes.
I intend
Good seeing
to.
you guys.
Take care.
Victor knows how to enjoy his time
he-
on.
Yeah, he
He
does.
knows the fellas I'm going with, so we all know.
Have a good day, guys.
Okay,
guys.
take care.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.